Long ago, there lived a fair maiden named Medusa, whose only desire was to become a priestess for her favorite goddess, Athena. The older she grew, the more beautiful she became, and the more the men in Greece wanted to marry her. But she had her heart set on becoming a priestess. Eventually, she became one, and the men in her town came into the temple every day to convince her to marry them, but she always refused. One day, Poseidon, the god of the sea, discovered the beauty of Medusa, and he fell in love with her. There was only one problem. She was a priestess for his mortal enemy. Poseidon decided to sexually assault her. For him, it was a win-win because in one fell swoop, he could get back at his enemy and reveal his love for Medusa.
My dear Athena, Poseidon came into my chambers last night with an unspeakable fate. Due to these events, I am now pregnant. I hope you can forgive me for anything I've caused and not do anything too hard.
How dare you be coming here? How could you do this to yourself? Do you know how people are going to think of you now? I curse you to become a hideous monster for the rest of eternity, with tusks and wings and snakes for hair. No man will ever want you again.
After Athena cursed me, my sisters Tithano and Uriel stood up for me, and Athena cursed them to be Gorgons just like me, the only difference being that they were immortal. We roamed the earth, and the more we scared people, the more dejected we became. Eventually, we decided to stay on the island of Sarpedon, far away from humanity. But the men of the world began to view killing me as a conquest, so when they came to our island, they always ended up dead. As more and more men came to kill me, the rage that my sisters and I felt grew and grew, so that when Perseus eventually came to kill me, my sisters' rage overflowed.
Medusa is now being depicted as helpless, which is the last thing that feminists want to be. The image of Medusa is likened towards society's view of women in power. Women of power are turned into monsters because they have power. Being raped transforms Medusa. She wishes to turn back into the beautiful girl, but she can't because of her rage. She thinks of Poseidon and his misdeeds, so she is stuck in her monstrous form. New Shift takes the righteous rage out of the old myth.
The nihilist interpretation says that in the myth, the people kept their eyes down to avoid Medusa, just as people in the world keep their eyes down to avoid facing the reality of life. The gods just view mortals as pawns in an endless game. This makes Medusa's story one of suffering and great injustice. In the myth, Medusa is associated with a conflict between another woman or competition between other women. Women are portrayed as mothers, maidens, or monsters who are idolized, damaged, or destroyed by the ruling patriarchal power. Athena was jealous of Medusa's beauty, so she acted out of jealousy.
Based on Greek interpretation, Medusa represented the threat of castration and the threat of a dangerous seductress. She was depicted as a monster, but ever since 450 BCE, she has been represented as the Great Mother, a victim of sexual harassment, the voice of feminist rage, more female, and was seen as less of a monster. Medusa demonstrated that women were less powerful than men in a Christian society at the time, because she was later killed by Perseus. Medusa's story changed the Greeks' ideas about women's rights.
The snakes that Medusa has for hair represent rebirth, and thus a cycle which is often related to women. Snakes are also thought to be wily, deceptive, intelligent, and untrustworthy, which equates to the Greek views of women. Snakes also have a connection with the earth. Medusa's wings symbolize the sky and freedom or mastery over worlds. The boar tusks that Medusa is sometimes said to have are meant to cause pain and fear, but the pig represents birth and fertility in ancient Greece. Medusa's power to turn men to stone represents power over life, as well as Medusa's power over men. In ancient Greece, it was thought that this ability must be reined in because it means that a woman has control. Perseus killing her represents the silence of feminine wile and the inability of women to speak or be their own person in a patriarchal society. Athena turning Medusa into a monster is a testament to her support of the male hierarchy in ancient Greece. A different telling of the myth says that Medusa is the gatekeeper to the underworld, and she is trapped there by magic. This represents women that were trapped in domestic housework at the time. This retelling also says that Perseus cut off her head to make sure he would never be separated from it because he fell in love with her beauty.
Just restart it because
No, it's fine.
push the what?
Red button.
Bro, put that in as a blooper. Yes, put that in. I would move the camera to Justine, but I don't want to move it because you look really funny. I want to.
Justine, you need help.
I think that looks.
I got you.